is, we talked about this. This came up at E3?
It's come up a lot. In fact, this video that I'm about to pull up, it says it was uploaded on August 4th of 2014. It's been sitting unlisted on my YouTube channel, ready to pull the trigger anytime we're ready to actually tell the story. Okay. So now we can actually find it.
That's some vision.
I'll tell you when the link was
Let's switch to the thing. Let's switch to the computer. We're going to make it, look at that, unlisted, officially public now.
Oh, great.
All right, Brad, can you get me a drink? I want to tell a story. I'd like that big Bud Light, please.
I thought you were talking to Drew for a second. I was like, you should not try to get the booth to come give you a drink. They have work to do.
Yeah.
Supporting your monster face.
All right. Where do we start with? I guess I got to give some context before I start the video.
Yeah, probably.
Really on your phone right
So
now?
this
I'm
is
looking up the link of when it was actually published because
John. This was 08, correct?
I'm checking,
Before
but yeah,
Rock Band 2 came
I
out?
believe so.
I think it was 08. I was not working in the industry legitimately yet. I was not a Game Informer yet.
Some say you still are.
Yeah.
That's true. That is
yeah,
true.
one of these days you'll finally make it.
Yes. I was just writing.
July
reviews.
16th, 2008, the original video.
Okay, all right.
That's on YouTube already, so I'm glad you published yours. That'll be good. That's not duplicative at all.
It's got to be able to monetize.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Oh, I gotta turn that on.
Grabbing that traffic.
So I was writing for free at the time, and it was enough to get out to E3. And so I went out there, and this was around the time that I was kind of obsessed with Guns N' Roses and Chinese democracy.
Again, that time in the past.
Yeah.
That you're kind
I
of
wouldn't say I'm obsessed by any means
The
now.
whimsical past.
Yeah.
So Chinese democracy, I was on numerous forums that all they talked about was, when is Chinese democracy coming out? Like, all these leaks constantly, like, that's all they talked about. And I was on this every day. And yes. And there were tons of hoaxes. Tons and tons of hoaxes. Like, people like, I work at Best Buy. Like, I got this internal memo or whatever. Says, oh, hey.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Where it's like on the company letterhead. Says,
So leaks in the music industry.
Yes.
Unlike the video game industry,
No,
there
that doesn't
are no
happen.
leaks.
That doesn't happen.
We learn from our media cousins.
Yeah.
We're all about
Okay,
it.
all right.
Some of us do.
I'll finish this bag.
Do you have any comment on recent happenings on the internet? Either of you?
Nah.
Yeah.
We're good.
I've been inside of a VR headset for the past 4 days. I'm not convinced that I'm not in a VR headset right now. I don't know anything that's happened, and I don't believe YouTube's Patrick Kleppergon, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds about right.
We're in VR right now.
We are right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That makes more sense. It makes more sense. It's way too surreal.
Cutting to the other studio and having them all panic that they're in VR is pretty awesome.
It makes so much more sense now. This all makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
no, nothing to say.
All right, so
Let's see here.
leaks in the music industry.
But it
Go
was all
on.
half-assed hoaxes. It was people trying to get, like, these were the easiest marks in the world to kind of get worked up over
Marks,
stuff.
okay.
Marks, yes.
Yep, got it.
And so they would get worked up and they would believe stuff or they'd argue about it. Like, they were just obsessed with this shit. And so when I do pranks and hoaxes and stuff, I like to go elaborate with them.
I do pranks and hosts.
And so
Stuff.
I posted to the thing. It's like, hey, I'm going to E3. I've got an appointment. I get to meet with the harmonics people. I'm going to ask, like, because they announced Shackler's Revenge was going to be exclusive to Rock Band 2.
Yeah,
and that was
it
the
is.
first official release of any track from Chinese democracy. But they still had no news of like an actual release or anything like that. And so I said, oh, I'm going to try to, get them on the record. I'm going to try to record and just ask a bunch of GNR questions and stuff and see what harmonics says. So I'm crashing on my buddy's couch, Mike, that I went to college with. And he's a big Guns N' Roses fan too. So we kind of worked out this whole routine we were going to do.
Is that the name of the ginger monster in this story?
Yep.
Okay,
We're going to see him
fuck
here.
that guy.
Yep. So we worked out this whole routine. And he's pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we went there and we basically had him pose as a harmonics employee in the booth. And I made it look like I just walked up to him and just started filming him. And then at a certain point in the video, you'll see the camera angle shift, and I make it look like we're off the record, but I'm like stealthily, like guerrilla filming this thing. You'll know that part, but
Oops, record.
Yeah.
we'll need a bunch of audio for this. So let's go ahead and start this. John, you're actually in this video at the beginning,
am.
briefly.
I make a guess.
Just before we get started, this is like, okay, it's 2008.
June
How
2008.
long had you been at Harmonix?
I
at
had
this
been
point?
working at Harmonix for 11 months.
Okay.
Well, I had done some stuff for them before that, but I'd been full-time working in PR for 11 months. I started the week after E3 of 2007.
All right.
And so this is my first E3. I'm pitching. I'm getting a bunch of compliments about how well it's going.
This is like when Alex Navarro is there.
No,
or
right before. Right before
he's there. Okay,
He was.
all right.
This is like the summer that he got hired.
Right.
Oh, maybe he's there actually. Maybe he's played.
Yeah, I
games.
think he was there by then. Is this before or after you died inside?
I mean, I've been a hollow Easter bunny of a human being for the past.
Yeah.
Ever.
Since I've known you, that's
yeah,
what I'm asking.
2003,
Yeah,
2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you and I had really communicated at length until
Not at
Alex had started working there.
Yeah, I mean,
And he was like, "Here's the idiots I work with."
Yes.
I'm like, "You guys seem okay, better than this asshole."
We had talked before, but we were not friendly in any capacity.
It wasn't until
nor are we now. So.
No, it wasn't until you sent out a press release for your band's music video.
Yeah.
That I realized this guy is okay. He's got some balls on him.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I got this whole email list.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Not email video games and music PR people about my band, and they didn't take us anywhere. But whatever, it paid for the record.
Fair enough.
And speaking of paying for the record, Shackler's Revenge is in Rock Band 2. A great seamless transition, like I do at the beginning of this video, where I'm pitching the game to dozens of journalists, real and Dan Reichert. The spectrum between the two. Dan, feel free to roll your shitty, terrible, quote-unquote prank.
Which, by the way, the redheaded monster
Elaborate.
you talk about here, he has no interest in video games. He's never been a gamer or anything.
Well, that's good, because he's not allowed in the club. He's out.
Right.
For life.
I gave him a Kodak camera that I bought for $200 and said he was my Lawrence.com cameraman. And they gave him a E3.
That sounds like
invite.
E3.
Because we were going after that Kansas demo, that hard Kansas demo.
The Lawrence.com bump,
The breadbasket of America.
Everyone on the coast knows about video games.
Yeah.
You got to get out there.
In the middle, they're like, Xbox 3 what? E? And you're like, oh man, it's the 3 numbers in a row. You know how numbers work. Come on, Kansas, step up your game.
It's hard to believe with stuff like this happening, E3 is going away. It's hard to believe that.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running around in a circle in the middle of that space.
It's like I said, as long as people like you are there to drink and get in front of a video camera, E3 is still relevant.
For you, it's the same.
For me, it's still the same.
Turns out EA being outside on the patio or inside doesn't really affect your coverage.
Nope.
The board of directors has disallowed me from being drunk on streams now.
The board of directors of your company?
Iron
or
Galaxy
the
board of
ESA?
directors. Iron Galaxy board of
That's
directors.
preamble to the video there.
All right, let's go. I'm going to hit play here.
You're the worst.
You can hear John Drake's voice.
NewGNR.com. Fuck you. Yeah, it's
There's Sean Baptiste.
Sean Baptiste.
The video quality gets a little better later.
Wow.
There's John on stage.
Tour went really, really well. People love that feature. It was really great. And this time around, we tried to take Band World Tour and expand to really encompass everyone. It covers all the things that fans were asking for. A lot of fan feedback. So this time around, we've done the band.
Okay, this is for newgnr.com. I'm at E3 right now. I'm about to go up, try to find someone from Armand.
Smash cut to hundreds of feet away.
Had to look like I was walking up to the booth and he was manning it.
It's the shitty booths of E3 that year. Remember that?
Yeah, that year.
Well,
Was this Santa Monica?
no, this is the year after the same one.
You're from Harmonix? Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you.
Lies.
I have a question about Rock Band 2. Do you mind if I ask you? Okay, we'll start from here. All right, so how many tracks do you have on Rock Band 2?
There's 84 that are going to be on it.
That's true.
84, yeah. There's everything from Dylan to Metallica to Sonic Youth to all sorts of stuff.
You got a bunch of new modes and stuff too, right?
Yeah, there's the new,
Actually, I don't know if this...
He's got a spiel down. The new,
He's got my spiel down.
yeah,
That's how good I am at PR.
Okay, so is it going to be the same, will the same instruments from Rock Band 1, will they work with Rock Band 2?
Yeah, the same instruments are going to work, but there's new things about the new one. Like there's a premium drum.
Your friend has a really punchable face.
yeah, it's like open
Slap.
shirt. Like I
Yeah.
fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, that's Mike. Slap the mustache right off him.
That's Mike.
Too, at the Microsoft press conference, you had the big announcement of the Guns N' Roses track from Chinese Democracy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be...
His hair and facial hair look like one texture map applied to his entire head.
The track, well,
Shackler's Revenge?
it will be on the game.
Okay, have you heard it?
Yeah, I have heard it. Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I can't really talk about it that much. I can't really.
Okay, have they given any indication about, like, is there going to be, like, a release alongside Chinese Democracy or anything about when that's coming out?
That's all kind of like licensing stuff. I mean, I can't really go into that.
He's on message. I trained him well.
Yeah, this track's not bad.
Okay, do you know anything about whether that's going to be
I mean,
first?
all I can tell you is I heard the song. It sounds great. I know that the guys are working on it right now. They're just finishing up and everything.
First lie he tells in the whole video.
Great.
It's a PR
I mean,
guy.
that's really
Wanna. I would have said this sounds great.
Cool. Thanks, man.
I would have said
So you're off the record.
I hope they're proud of it.
We're off the record now.
miss the sound of Slash. It definitely does sound.
It turns up a little bit for this part.
It's Buckethead that's on there, and it just sounds completely different. The kind of the old GNR stuff does. It kind of sounds like industrial, like kind of Nine Inch Nails, like real produced, but.
Are you sure it's Buckethead?
I mean, I believe so. I mean, it just sounds very different. It's definitely not that Slash feel. It's kind of like.
You are an old fan of Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, I mean, how do you not like?
Okay. But I mean, just as an old Guns N' Roses fan, I mean, your first impression of it, like, have you heard any of the other leaks or anything?
No, I mean, we haven't gotten. I mean, that was the only thing we got. My only kind just sounds completely different than anything else before.
It was
doesn't
bad.
sound like sweet child of mine guns that I'm used to.
Well, off the record, I mean, have they told you anything about with the Chinese democracy release? Like, is that going to coincide with this?
Well, no. I mean, the thing about all of it is that we work with MTV to make Rock Band, and the big thing was that I know that Guns N' Roses has been talking to MTV a lot about the VMAs. So those are in September, and Rock Band coincided. The release of Rock Band coincided with the VMAs, and they just everyone
Fucking
figured out
rambling like a
it'd be a really good
record
time,
dude.
I think, to kind of get things
Yeah,
going
this guy
and
just sounds like a
release the
nutcase,
albums,
though.
Well, there's.
But so would anyone.
Key point here. He said it coincided with the release of the albums, and I said albums.
Oh.
Yeah, from what I've heard from what I've heard is that there's going to be 4 simultaneous albums released that coincide with the VMAs and stuff. That
Kiss
from what I've
Alive.
heard, that should start around September, after September.
The album's release or the advertising?
The album's release.
It's supposed to be in September?
Not in September, but that's when it'll all kind of get started and get kicked off.
Okay, so they're playing the VMAs and the songs from Rock Band in September.
That's just the impression I'm under. I mean, that's kind of the feeling I get, and that's just kind of like what I would say.
The impression that I get. We will look
4
at
albums at the same time?
That's just kind of the word that I've been around.
Do you know anything about the specific track listing or anything?
So that's the gist of it, basically. So Use Your Illusion was 2 simultaneous
Right.
albums, and
Of
I was
course.
trying to think of something that would just really freak out the forums as much as possible. So they're fuck it, 4. They're gonna do 4 albums at once, and they're gonna play the VMAs after being completely dormant for so long. And sure enough, let's go back to the computer. I got some tabs open here. We got. Right away, it blew up everywhere. So all these music blogs start picking up on it.
I'm on stage and my phone is like ringing constantly. It's like John Minyaki tweeted my number
So
out.
this went up like during E3. You turned this video around that fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
the next morning.
Okay.
So all these places, tons and tons of this. So look, Scoop of the Year.
Wait, what site is this? Music Radar.
This is Music Radar.
It's a real thing.
So
These are websites I'm actively working with trying to place this video game, and they're calling me being like, we want a comment, who is this employee, what's going on? And MTV Games, Bastion,
Slams
yes.
finger.
Yep. Let's see.
this was Sean Baptiste
Yeah,
from
that was
Harmonix
Sean.
saying this.
Yeah, we were sitting in the
I'm
pit.
friends with Sean Baptiste now. He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
but
he
he
works at
called me an
Bell's
irresponsible waste of space in 2008.
Yep. I mean,
Accurate.
yeah, I don't think nothing has changed.
So there's
The,
that.
Yeah.
Idolator. Here we go.
Last night I got a tip about a video. What?
Purporting is a key word. Yeah. Also, hey, internet, if it's directly an off the record comment and you publish it and republish it, and you think that person thinks they're off the record, don't do that. That's not cool.
Look at this. Journalistic integrity is thrown under the bus as a reporter asks questions off the record, keeps the tape rolling, and then uploads it to YouTube. The Patsy reveals that Guns N' Roses.
Chinese democracy.blogspot.com.
Yeah.
Guns and FN Roses.
One of the most trustworthy locations.
So,
Wait, hold on. Let's stop. Look at the top right of this webpage. Look at just to be just to be clear.
It's gonna be the same dude. Shirt open. Right.
So, at some point, okay, so all the forums are losing their minds so much. I'll show just a few of those things later. But they're looking at this guy and they're going through like Harmonix staff, trying to find people that fit
Because
the bill. Or
faces of
whatever.
people were in Rock Band 1.
Yeah, we did a photo
in
shoot.
the credits.
Yeah.
And so people found Ryan Lesser, who he was lead on Amplitude, right? The new one.
He was the lead on the new Amplitude. He was the
Right.
art director of the studio.
So
in
they thought it was
2008.
him because he has red hair and a beard and everything. They're like, it's totally Ryan Lesser. He's totally getting fired. And then Ryan Lesser had to post this picture I'm about to pull up, but it's a shitty version because it's an old archived thing. It's-
right.
But this, a thing that said, John, do you remember what it actually says there?
It says, dude, that ain't me.
I don't know the
Dearest
first
something, dude,
word
that ain't
is.
me. P.S. The guy's beard is whack. Or weak.
It says, dearest.
Perfect mates, something.
I don't know what that says, but he had to post that on the forums.
Yeah.
And
Reactivists.
Okay.
oh, okay.
Something like that.
All right.
It's almost a word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
close enough.
He's an art director. He's not. He doesn't write.
So yeah, I
It's
mean,
an artsy word.
Yeah.
when you look at all this, like these are the different forums. This is Here Today, Gone to Hell, which was a big forum, and yeah, this is all Sean Baptiste thing.
Yeah.
I'm some too
Aaron
old pretending to be.
Strites.
Yeah.
Aaron
I have
Strites
a pretty
had
good
that.
idea whom it was. I appear at one of the tables at the beginning of this video. At one point he says he's pretty sure he knows who I am.
Yeah, we do.
Which I remember distinctly. I was working at a TV station at the time.
Now you do.
Yeah,
but
not
then,
then. No,
because like who the fuck is Dan Riker?
He was
Yeah.
nobody, and then he got hired at Game Informer for no reason. And to this day, I don't know why you hired him. I told you not to.
It just after the butt tumbler stuff, it just seemed like he was probably.
It's all
he should
that.
probably
You,
be over
you may as
here.
well take him into your
He
shitty
should probably
orphanage
be
for
over
nightmares
here.
while you're at
Andy
it.
thanked me.
I agree.
Brad over here locking up every night, making sure he doesn't get out.
I agree with the line of thinking that if he has to be in the industry,
He may as well.
He should be here. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
might as well be Jeff. Yeah, so we went ham and just said, hey, not only posting on our forums, we're going to all these shitty forums that Dan Reichert spends all day on in Kansas instead of going to class learning nothing.
Yeah.
And we're going to just like aggressively post our message there. And it kind of worked. Like the tide turned back towards, yeah, if it's anything, this is probably a wildly inaccurate leak because why would we know any of their information about 4 albums coming? Anyway.
Yeah.
So I distinctly remember where I was. I was working at a TV station. I was on my lunch break, and I was in the drive-thru at McDonald's. And the video had been posted for a while, and like I was just constantly refreshing, just the news and the forums and all this, like seeing the reaction. Because there was a bunch of stuff that people didn't know whether it was real or fake. A lot of people bought it. But then I read Sean Baptiste's thing on the official Rock Band forums, and I remember just getting this feeling like in the pit of my stomach when he said like, I'll make sure he never gets invited to another industry event again. And he's like, I'll make sure this loser, never gets credentials ever again. And I remember thinking like, holy shit, like if all I've ever wanted to do is work in the video game industry, did I really just fuck it up over the
No
stupid
Adult Swim events for you.
Yeah.
Ever again.
And the answer is, yeah, you did fuck it up. You never had any credibility, and no one ever thought you were a person that anyone should pay attention to, and yet people gave you a platform for your ridiculous bullshit that has no foundation or credibility in fact. And we let you talk about Metal Gear Solid, and we let you talk about wrestling.
Amiibos now.
And amiibos,
Yeah.
and just whatever other thing you've been looped into as you broadly expand your horizons from the tiniest, goldfish bag at a carnival to the kiddie pool that you're now swimming in.
Remember you guys,
culture.
it was about a year ago now, you tried to make him an adult.
We did.
Yeah.
Failed.
And I aced it.
Yeah.
Totally aced it.
Aced.
Aced.
I did.
So on your end, it was just a lot of phone calls and then a strategy of getting out there. And,
Oh no, the entire company was flipped upside down for 2 days.
Yeah.
MTV Games not knowing who anybody at Harmonix. Well, I mean, they know the 7 people they talk to, and there's 100 artists cranking out gem particle effects trying to get this game on time in the 7 months they had to iterate on it. It's it's the Madden of rock bands.
Right.
Did you guys hear from actual people?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did they have to say?
So let me talk broadly about how working with artists worked at that time.
Okay.
MTV's a big company. Guitar Hero was a phenomenon. This is the heyday of Rock Band. Rock Band 2 debated with the best rock band in that series to a degree in terms of the timing and when it came out. Rock Band 3, I think, is a better game.
But
it was people were selling Rock Band 2.
Rock Band 2 was up here.
Peak, right under the chin. And we were out there, and this was the year we're talking to Prince. We're talking to people who've been fuck these games, they're ruining kids, they won't appreciate music. And the zeitgeist is with us to the point where they're starting to kind of loosen up. They feel like we can trust to have a whole music team, the MTV music team's working on it. And, we're doing Shackler's Revenge on the disc. We're doing all of Chinese Democracy. It's one of the first full albums we got. We were sort of pitching the full album concept this time. We're doing Doolittle. We were doing The Cars. We were doing this.
Doolittle? Really?
Yeah, it's in the... Come on, you worked it.
Oh, it actually made it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a record we put out on. Anyway. There's the comparison shot. They look
I see why someone might.
impossible.
No,
Yeah. And also read this comment. I like this comment a lot.
You can spot amateur acting from a mile away. That conversion seemed way too natural. I'm not saying the information was true, just that it was not set up. Hashtag 9/11 is a hoax.
He was a fellow film major with me at KU. That's why we were so good at acting and directing.
Yeah, you guys really nailed it. I mean, it's mind-boggling that you're both doing what you do now and not that. So anyway, we're doing all of Chinese Democracy. We're pushing super hard to get them on board. It's the most finicky group in the world, but they're kind of beginning to open up. They're putting a record out. They're getting back into the game. And we're well, if we do this, the dominoes will fall, and we'll finally get access to. And there had been a previous blow up over a cover version of, I want to say Sweet Child of Mine, something like that.
Okay.
Some of it was in Guitar Hero, and it was Wave Group to the cover, and it was one of the first times that covers were kind of a, hey, why are you doing cover versions of songs to the masters? I don't work at Harmonix now, so don't yell at them now.
Yeah.
It's 7 years ago. But so we finally got in good standing. The relationship was repaired, and then this shit goes up on the internet, and all the conversations about Use Your Illusion, all the conversations about Appetite for Destruction, we got the masters in house. We have what we have for the game. Everything else was like a thanks but no thanks. Like you can't control your story. So Dan Reichert's single-handedly responsible for Guns N' Roses music from the classic age not coming to Rock Band as far as I can tell.
Dan. Good
So,
stuff.
Before you even knew I existed.
His elaborate prank basically ruined it for all of you. So
And now, well, now look at Harmonix. They're on Fig. You know?
wow. Hey, real quick, can I just give a
I'm Dan Reichert.
Can I give a shout? Can I give a shout to the booth that they